I'm going when I'm all alone. Well, you see, during the day, you are busy dealing with the everyday existence. What to do next to make my life a little better. First thing after liberation, all your emotions are put to rest because your body is in need of food. So the only thing you do is just you want to eat. You want to eat. I mean, unimaginable things, especially the dieters here. We would get a thick slice of bread. I swear to you, it could have been an inch and a half thick. The butter was as thick on top of it. And if that wasn't good enough, we would pour honey on. I will not tell you the result of the tummy ache, but that's how hungry we were. So first you deal with stuffing yourself. Second, now again, these are all young girls. We had that one stinking, smelly rag on our back. What does a young girl want? Another clothing. So here is another episode in my life that is unique. We are housed in this German village, and the American authorities dealt with the mayors of the town to allocate a room in each home for us. So now here are a bunch of girls, and they decide they're gonna go into some of the deserted homes and secure some stuff. I went one time, and all of a sudden I was left alone in the bedroom as the other girls were searching. And I opened up the linen closet, and I froze. Because the sheets were stacked up, ironed beautifully, with a ribbon across it, just like my mother used to do it. I couldn't do it. I absolutely could not do it. I walked out without anything. I never ever, they asked me, want to go get shoes or whatever. No. So there were all these things, trying to get clothing. And then it was just a very slow proceeding. But then the nightmares kept coming. The nightmares were in various forms. Whether it was flashing, getting tossed into the boxcar, and one of the nightmares would deal with, I am walking away from the boxcar, and I'm waving to everybody, I'll come and save you. I have no idea why I had that dream, but it kept coming. And there's so many different things. And when we were liberated in Germany and stayed there for a couple of months, naturally we were free to go to the shops or to market or whatever, walking on the street. For months, I always felt that the guard was next to me. There was no guard there. But that's how we were conditioned. So, I mean, there are many, many aspects.
Do you feel, my mother was from Poland. It was by accident that I get to hear you tonight. She was in Buchenwald, died when I was a little girl. So it's interesting because when you're growing up, you could care less. It's like, Mom, please, I've had enough. But as an adult, I wish she was alive that I could ask those questions. But do you think that there has been any residual effects to your children because of the trauma that you went through?
The effect on my children. Well, I have my daughter here. And no, I'm going to give you a different answer. 2 years after I was in America, I married a nice Jewish man who was born in Chicago. So, which translates to that my children had the blessing of a set of grandparents, cousins, aunts, and uncles. Whereas the other survivors, when they married each other, eventually there were no survivors. So therefore, my children grew up in a relatively normal condition. Because my husband was very compassionate about my background, but he tried to eliminate it. Let's go on with life. Let's do things. So I kind of got Americanized in a fast way. But, well, I tell you one thing. My son must have been about 8 years old, and I used to watch Yom HaShoah time. The PBS station would run an authentic documentary of Auschwitz and all the related camps and so forth. And this particular time I'm watching the television, the child is playing next to me. All of a sudden he turns to me and said, "Mother, why are you watching that program and it makes you cry?" So I said, "I have to. This is my cemetery. I have no cemetery to go to. I have no other way of expressing my feelings." So that was, but otherwise, I don't want to put her on the...
Do you want to answer? Well, no, I think, where'd you go? I think that I was really one of the fortunate ones as far as being a child of a survivor, because from my entire life I knew her story. I didn't know all the scary, horrible parts, but I understood enough that I think it helped us to have a better relationship, because if she overreacted, as all parents do, a teenager, whatever, I think I had a more compassionate understanding. Whereas I grew up in Skokie, Illinois, which was the home of a lot of Holocaust survivors, the most in the world.
You gotta talk too.
And many of my peers, their parents never spoke about it. So they grew up with whatever results happen after that kind of trauma in life, and they would get the residual effect of it. Like I had one friend who was never, when clogs were popular, the shoes with the wooden bottoms, she was never allowed to wear them, but never understood why. Her mother just said, "No, you can't wear them. I hate the sound," but never had an explanation of why. So I always felt very fortunate that I had a better understanding than many of my peers. So, and besides, look at her. Come on.
I think that since we have the Yom HaShoah celebration, remembrance, I better call it quits. And I thank you ever so much for your attention, and all of you will be even better people. Thank you.